To the channel. This is Mick Ruby and Mark Nurse, apparently. Which way are you pointing? That's right. Listen, guys, 2 weeks left. Not 2 weeks left. You wish it was 2 weeks left of the transfer window, but it's actually 2 days left to the transfer window. It's closing, I think, 11 p.m. as per usual on Thursday. And we know we've been hearing from Ten Hag and everyone else that FFP is restricting us to do anything, but there's certain rumors that don't want to go away. And that is Benzima. That is the top story of today, guys. Mark, what do you reckon? Benzima madness. Berrada plays a key part in the negotiations. Apparently, guys, what we're going to discuss here today as well is this story. Number two as well, Ten Hag's fate is going to be decided. It's all in Berrada's hand as well. Who is going to be the director of football? That's what we're going to discuss, because apparently Micheal Edwards is kind of coming up by Fabrizio Romano. He's rejecting Liverpool. He wants something higher. Is this something that we are currently looking at, Mark? I don't know. We will talk about that one as well. And also, what's going on with Rashford? Rashford latest. I mean, apology is apology internally, but if you dealt with it in-house, you still have to deal with it out-house as well, because at the end of the day, fans are not happy, fans are complaining. And do you reckon, Mark, as well, that he's going to get picked on Thursday? Not that easy, son. Not that easy. What do you reckon, Mark?
So, I don't think so. I think he sits on the bench, but you never know.
Yep. Should we do this? Should we do this, people? Please, before we continue, before we go on that little intro, you know what to do. Smash that.
Like
Mark?
the like button. Smash the like button. Like this. Smash it.
Yeah.
No?
Okay. It's
Don't forget
showtime.
to
Let's do this,
subscribe if you're
people.
new, guys.
And subscribe. Let's do this. Showtime. It's showtime.
Welcome back to MUFC Realist TV and Beat the Press. Please stay tuned to find out these top stories with your host, Mick Ruby. Welcome to Beat the Press. Here we go.
Okay, let's go.
I can hear you blow your nose. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you under the weather, my friend?
A little bit under the weather. Just a little bit of a runny nose today, but all in all, I'm good.
All in all, good. In all, good. It's Tuesday day, and God, how does it feel to be Tuesday? I had a very chill day at the beach, Mark. So 33 degrees, sunshine, sun-kissed, out with my friends, and lo and behold, making some phone calls, because at the end of the day, 2 weeks. Not why do I keep saying 2 weeks? I wish it was 2 weeks left of the window. You
4
know what?
days,
Yeah,
3
yeah.
days.
So 2 days, a lot of madness. Rashford story currently resolved internally, case closed, nothing to see here, nothing to do, but fans are still raising questions. And are we going to do any signings in the window? Are we? Because we're getting thin. Ten Hag's been loaning out a lot of players. And in that meeting, Mark, what media has been reporting, everyone is blaming Ten Hag. Well, you're lame negotiations. But who sit next to Ten Hag? No other than our famous Murtaugh, bending over. So player power wins again. What do you reckon regarding Rashford?
Well, player power wins, it's just weird. Like, a lot of people ask the question, is this favoritism? But clearly it's not favoritism in terms of a manager approach, in my opinion, because the club energy towards this situation was drastically different to the way they faced the Jadon Sancho situation as well as the Mason Greenwood situation.
Mm.
So for me, there's a little bit of difference coming there. And I don't think this is based off of the manager. I think this is based off of the team, the board, and how they feel about players. Because as you know, Marcus Rashford MBE, brand player,
MBE.
poster boy of the
Lauded.
club. You know
Yeah,
what I
lauded
mean?
at the club, yeah. Look, we're not going to discuss much about it, but at the end of the day, he's an asset. He's an asset.
Big asset.
And when you roll in with your brother and your agent to Carrington, you have one card, one ace in your hand. You know which current financial state the club is. You know that the club is loaned up most of its wingers, right, including Pellistri. Apparently, Ten Hag was kind of waiting to see the resolution with Rashford. I had this conversation, and now it looks like Pellistri is flying out to Granada to actually complete his loan deal. I don't know. I haven't heard much latest news that he's still like in consideration to fly out and complete his medical and complete his transfer. But at the end of the day, it is like you coming in, potentially you are the star boy. You're an asset. You're getting paid 18 million a year, right? 80 million a year. That's a lot of money, right? And you apologize, fine. But what about the fans? What about apologizing to the fans, right? You got caught by the lash. A lot of teammates are not happy to say, well, what about this treatment? Why does he get away with that? Like, he goes out partying for 2 weeks. Apparently, there was even nipped with this where the sun don't shine, like, and it comes from the sun. Apparently he was drinking on a tequila spree, all that jazz. I don't really prior on that. But what I do prior is, like, why this favoritism? And basically you put the manager in a very uncomfortable situation. You put the fans in a very uncomfortable situation, knowing there's 2 days left of the transfer window. Of course, you're going to come in there with a trump card in your hand to say, I'm sorry, but you know what? Play me. I will play. But the proof will be in the pudding, Mark, as we always say. Like, I don't know. Why is this different treatment? Rashford versus Ronaldo, Rashford versus Sancho. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think it's an asset, and I think it's a really, really weak decision by the club.
I think it's weak as well, and it forces the club into that submissive state where they could only react. And I feel like now it's something that has been at the club for years. Maybe Omar wasn't able to make a drastic decision like he would want to, but the summer is coming, and I hope for change. And maybe it's going to be a little bit slower than we all expected. But you know, we all been asking for ruthlessness, and what we got was a soft heart. So it's
True
one
that.
of those things.
Yeah. Listen, let's just dive in. And based on that, mate, good evening, people. How are you doing? Lord Voldemort Clippy is out of bound. Clippity. Who is Clippity?
Klopp.
Clippity. Klopp? I don't know, man. Anyway, Edward Reed is here. Trashy. You can all see each other. Be nice in the comment. And please, by all means, you know what to do. You know that's like button, that thumbs up. Please smash it like Benzima ain't happening. Charlie, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it, cool and compose. Will it happen? I have no idea. I have no control. But we are here just to report what's been said in the media, who I've been talking to, some sources saying that is plausible. They are looking at it. It's a board signing, pretty much what they want. And who sits there? Still Glazers. And if you look at it from a short-term perspective, they want to get into top four. They want to get into top four. Will you get into top four
100%.
with Hoyland at the moment? Probably not. Will you get into top four scoring, bagging probably 20 goals if he comes in? Probably yes. But the crux comes in with the salary wages and how you finesse it. So we're going to talk about that as well. Maulin Patel, what would you love a Benzi at Manchester United, but wages too much and out of his prime? Well, we're not the ones that are making the deal. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There is certain ways you can sort of finesse it. There is always creativity. There's always solutions. If you have somebody like Omar Berrada already behind the scenes calling the shots, using his black book of contacts, he was instrumental with City and buying players from Saudi or offloading players by Saudi before. So he has good contacts. So who's to say that he's not involved here? Basically, who's not to say that he's been consulted, right? Because I believe that John Murta can't do it. John Murta was cited being there in December, trying to offload players like Pellistri. No, not Pellistri, but Anthony Dos Santos, Varane, Casemiro, and all that stuff, right? And just laughed at him, and he went back to Manchester and racked up a flight bill, private jet bill on $500,000, like he did with Veronique Rabiot.
Man, he's probably a very unlikable guy, this Muto guy, because no one says yes to this guy.
You know who he reminds me? I mean, I don't want to be done here, but if you watched the Ted Lasso's show, that football director that comes in there, like, with the glasses, that little guy. Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah. He reminds me a little bit of that character, right? Getting too giddy when they signed this, what's his name? That episode when they signed the star player, when he chose to come to
Oh, when
Richmond.
they signed
Yeah. The
the
Jesus.
the Jack Grealish version.
Yeah. It was funny. I mean, that's what he reminds me. Jokes aside, happy Tuesday, everyone. Let's have a sip on a coffee. Whatever you're drinking, cheers.
Big up.
So, big up people for coming in here. Let's dive right into the story. Benzima madness, guys. Berrada plays a key role. Well, let's dive right into the story. And I want to just bring this to the stage, people. Mark, we are changing the scenes. As you can see, the People's Person or whatever One Football app was reporting it also today. And I think Mark Goldbridge also did a piece about it, right? So Manchester United are testing the waters for Karim Benzima. What does it mean? What does it mean, Mark? Well, let's dive into the story here because we have been reporting on this before, right? We have. We know that Benzima has kind of fallen out with the club, especially with Nuno Espirito Santos, the manager. Reports are suggesting that Benzema could set or follow his previous manager's footstep by swapping the Saudi Pro League for Premier League after falling out with Nuno Espirito Santos. And this is again coming from L'Equipe, and L'Equipe is the go-to paper when it comes to sports and transfer in France. They are pretty much content that the breakdown between the player and the club has led to United and Chelsea to test the waters. So they've been in contact. They had a sort of a talk, according to what I also been confirmed with Benzema's agent. There is interest. They are willing to pull the trigger, but it also comes down to what is the Saudi want to do, right? Because Benzema is the poster boy. You know that they're trying to build the pro league. They have Ronaldo, Benzema, and all these star players. So what they're coming out to say, we rather loan him out to another Saudi Pro League club to keep him in-house as a poster boy for the league. However, it's coming down to 2 days left of the window. So will this be resolved? Will we get him? I don't know. So basically, I had some conversations today, and just to confirm that, hang on, I'm just going to pull up my WhatsApp messages here as well. Yeah, so basically what some of my credible sources are saying, there is a broad agreement. There is kind of agreement within the board, as what we said. They see this as a commercial signing and definitely something that they can recoup very, very fast in terms of shirt signing. This is what I said, Mark, is a typical Glazers signing, right?
Glazer-nomic.
And again, I see this as a short term. And what I understood is basically to get back into top four as quick as possible, because with the new establishment, they want to be out in Europe. They have limited time. As it's been reported, Omar Berrada has been coming in. Omar Berrada is also, in effectiveness, looking to appoint a new sporting director and director of football, which we're going to talk about in the next story as well. Now, also a tweet coming out from MUFC MBP saying that in recent days, Manchester United and Chelsea has taken action to test the waters of Karim Benzima, but Saudi authorities are desperate to keep him. That is exactly the same information what I have, but from a little bit broader perspective that we wouldn't mind. There is apparently some money, and how they would finesse it, I have no idea. Mark, want to hear from you.
It's one of those things where I look at the Benzema signing in two ways. Yes, we know that his wages to Saudi are huge, but is that going to be the same negotiation path we're going to take? Is he going to expect to be paid those same wages? I don't think so. He has to make a sacrifice at the end of the day.
Yes, and there comes the creativity in negotiations. There's where Omar Berrada plays the key role as well, right? So, yes, you can look at the wages. I don't know how much wages he's expecting. I don't know, is it 70 million or something per year? But it's not a full year. It's pretty much half a year, and maybe half of it can be paid by Saudi, half of it would be paid by United. And what we said, there's a lot of creativity that you can do, get him on a loan for 6 months and off you go, because apparently he just wants to play football, but he doesn't want to play in Saudi league.
True. And what if there's a deal to be had? Because we all been talking about the possibilities of maybe Casemiro and Varane going to Saudi in the summer. What if there's creativity there where they could probably say to them, well, listen, we know you want these two guys. We can give them to you this summer for a better deal if you loan us this guy for 6 months.
Yeah, but then I have to ask you back a question, Mark. I don't see this as a long term, right? 36 years of age. We know he can back goals, right? But is this a long-term solution? I don't think so. I see it more what I heard today, that is a short-term fix to get us back into the top four, to help us get back into top four and potentially Europa. Now, will this hinder Rasmus Højlund for his development?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no. He will pretty much learn.
I think learn, and I think they share minutes. I don't think Benzema is going to come in and say, I want to play 90 minutes. Maybe he comes in and say, I want to play at least 45, 55 minutes a game. You can take Benzema off on the 60th minute, bring on Rasmus. And we all know Ten Hag's profile. Benzema is going to come in, and he's going to come off the bench for the first 2-3 games, which means Rasmus even if we get Benzema, he's going to start the 3 games he's here, and then Benzema will be coming on to close the game.
But then look at this point. When Rasmus Højlund signed for United, he didn't expect to be in this situation to start week in and week out because he thought probably we're going to sign another mature striker or at least play off the back end of Martial. We don't have none of them, right? And Rashford is not a striker. Rashford is definitely not a striker. So what? We have zero interchangeable, right? We only have him and that's it. So will he learn? 100%. Will he accept it? Yes, he will, right? I
100%.
believe so. Guys, what do you reckon in the VR room? Do you see this as a good signing or do you see that it's a bad signing? I would say that if money is there, 100%, if it's a short term, yeah, I'd be putting my hand up to say, hey, who wouldn't like a Benzima, right? Because at the end of the day, we are not the accountants, we are not the P&L holder, like the profit and loss holders of the club. We're just football fans and raising our opinions, right? So if you're not, I mean, as a United fan, I want us to compete. I want us to see good football. I want us to score goals. And if Benzema can come in, yes, definitely he will potentially give us some goals there, right?
100%. 100%.
Hmm.
And people say, Edward Reed, I agree with the another striker, but in one thing, I don't think he's past his prime, to be fair. Ronaldo wasn't past his prime. He bagged more goals than even Marcus Rashford, who's 26.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
I got to
mean?
make a joke here, man. We are transformers at the moment. We are transforming, so we have an Optimus Prime here.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
We need an
Van
Optimus
Persie
Prime.
won us the league the season he came over, so I can't see that's not value for money. You know what I mean? Cavani did well. He won us a Europa League. You know what I mean? In his first season with Oli, like I feel like some of these players, like they were above age, but since when has a player who's 31 years old, 32 years old, 33 years old been past his prime unless he actually has been playing past his prime? You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like a
Guys,
lot of players exceed the age limit sometimes in most
yeah.
circumstances.
Guys in the VR room, if you can post your questions, we will sort of get back to your questions later on. We're trying to sort of get through the news as quick as possible. You guys can see there, we have Quad Sports Carl, we have MUFC Charlie, Rashford apologize to Ten Hag. Yeah, you guys can see us, but if you can come with your questions and we will sort of address it at the end of the show as well. Like, come with really good questions as a fan, what you think and what you want. That's more fair. Admiral Drex, no messing around since we like the poster boys. Add him to the list. What you saying, Admiral Drex, as well. On this channel, for the past 2 weeks we've been speaking about who is the better signing in terms of long term and short term, and I was mentioning Benjamin Sesko. I haven't heard much about it. Could there be a possibility for Sesko cheap? But apparently, I think this is typical United. I think that they are saying that there's no value on the market, FFP, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if we come at the very end of the transfer window, as what we normally do with this club, to say, ta-da, give you a gift here. I don't know, man. Will we sign him? I don't know. I don't think so. Will you? What do you think?
I'm up in the air. If we don't sign anyone, I'm happy. If we do sign someone, I hope it's either a Benzema or Sesko, which makes sense. But either way, I'm happy either way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, Quad Sports Carl is saying absolutely 100%. Yeah, we were covering the presser. We heard what he said. Ten Hag said there's no room in these FFPs. But this is what you can say then. And it's all for the PR gallery, right? There is money. 100% there is money for the transfer window, but it's all about value on the market. Typical what they're saying United. It's all about spending your piece in the summer. Since when did you see United splash the cash in January? The latest we saw was 100% Bruno Fernandes, that January window, right? Yeah, you were being sarcastic anyway. So it's not up to us. We are not the KPI holders of the club. But as a fan, will I oppose it? No, I will not. But am I skeptical? Hell yeah. I'm always skeptical when it comes to the club and the transfer signings, Mark.
True. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, we all want to see progress, but in this moment, I would like to see outgoings. Coming into
Yeah.
the summer window. I mean, for the next few months, I would like to see us assess these players that we have currently in the squad, and maybe address some of the players who need to leave and make sure they
Okay.
leave at the
In
beginning of
terms
the
of
summer.
outgoings, how many outgoings do we? We had Donny van de Beek out. We have Alvaro Fernandez out. We have Pellistri out. We had who else do we have out? Facundo Pellistri, the latest,
Um,
probably out. We had
Hannibal Medjbury,
Hannibal Mejbri. Who else do we have out as well? Dangor out.
Kangor,
There's a lot of players
Kangor,
out.
and not Charlie McNeil. The next one was the next striker.
Will
That I'm trying
Fish.
to- Will Fish is out, but the
Mm.
other young striker that we have, it's two of them. One is Charlie
Jadon
McNeil.
Sancho out.
Well, Jane Sancho. Then
Yeah.
there's the other striker, the other young guy, Joe
Uh,
Hugel. He's also
Joe
out of
Hugel
the.
out. So there's a handful of players, like 9, 10 players out already, right?
Yeah, but
Either it's
that's
a
not
loan, it's a sell, but
as
still they're
well
off the
as
wage bill.
yeah. But I mean, like those are loans, but I mean more like exits, like not coming
Exit.
back, no return.
Oh,
Like
no
we want to
return, no.
change the
Yeah.
ethos that we need to get rid of some of these players. That's the only how
Mm.
we could change the atmosphere in the club, changing the manager, adding a structure, not really as a
Yeah.
facelift, in my opinion.
But in a way, that's going to most likely. I mean, it looks like it's going to be addressed in the summer because guess what? Ineos is not in power as of yet. You know what? So they can't do anything. So the club is focusing on getting all these players off the wage bills. I mean, we're talking about a handful of players, and already there you saved yourself some money, right? And you got some profit by getting loan fees as well for these players. So there is money in the market. There is, but it's just pulling the trigger on the right player. That's what Ten Hag is always saying: pulling the trigger on the right player.
Edward Reed is asking if you would take Weghorst back if no Benzema.
Mate, that horse is bolted. The Weg
Exact-
horse.
I would agree with
Anyway.
that statement from Mick. Big up to Alex from St. Petersburg, Russia. No signings. Is Ten Hag gone in the summer?
Привет,
Maybe
bratан.
not. Like Alex. Like maybe there's a perspective where maybe he's gonna have to analyze who he has and who he really wants.
Hmm.
He's not gonna use going forward, and maybe the club gets rid of them and brings in new players because at
Yeah,
the end
big
of
up,
the
big
day,
up.
we need
Yeah,
to
big
have
up,
change.
Alex. Yeah, здравствуйте, Alex. Big up to you, man. You understood what I said, bratan. Anyway, that was hello in Russian, by the way. Guys, ha ha ha. Will Manchester United will not get Sesko and Benzema? How much during we have to been taking? How much drugs you have been taking? We're not taking the drugs, man. We are just reporting what we heard, what we've seen, what we read, and we're just putting our fan reaction to it. Am I getting to get a secondary striker in? 100% I would. Barring that we've been deprived for seeing goals, barring that we've been deprived for seeing good football. And the next question to you, Mark, comes like this, and to the VR panel. Do you see finally that Ten Hag is able to put his strongest 11? What we saw the dress rehearsal regarding Newport, it wasn't pretty, but it's a start, right? Casemiro back, Varane, hopefully Bayander in goal, but we don't know. That's not going to happen, right? Because we're talking about £50 million, £50 million asset there,
Yeah, well, you know what I've heard that he's jet lagged and might be ill. So I'm hoping
God
that it's
damn.
true. I'm being honest when I say that because I feel like the defense and the team felt a bit comfortable while with having Bayende in goal. If it's two players that I would wish upon a star and hope they leave the club tomorrow would be Onana and Marcus Rashford. I'm being honest when I say that.
You can be honest.
I
I
for
mean, you
sure
mentioned
believe
something really funny there, mate. You got hangovers and you got jet lags. Come on.
exactly, man. And it's two players who have not really performed as well this season. They both have big egos. One of them is a poster boy. The next one is a very expensive signing, and both of them have been absolutely deplorable this season. You know what I mean? I don't even see how anyone else gets roasted or catches strays ahead of those two in the squad.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming in. There's about 60 of you watching. If everyone can do us a massive, massive favor, hit that like button, the thumbs up. You know how it looks like this. And if you want to come to Phuket, Thailand to thumb wrestle with me, welcome. I will send you a address later and we can have a competition. But thumbs up, everyone, for Mark as well. Big up Mark as well. Listen, at the end of the day, we're going to talk about story number 2. Ten Hag's faith in Berrada's hands. This was reported today because Berrada is the new CEO and Berrada will be the one that will appoint people that will work for him. Now, it's a good sign, 100%. We're talking about sporting director, we're talking about director of football, but it was also a report to say that it will be assessed in the summer. Is Ten Hag the guy for him or is it not? Or does he have a different mentality of the way he wants Manchester United to play together with the sporting director and director of football? Now, Mark, I know you love Ten Hag. I know you're, Ten Hag in. I am either way. I'm very balanced. I'm kind of on the doubt, been for a doubt for a while, based because I can't see the style of play. I don't see what we're doing on the pitch. Hopefully, it can prove me wrong for the remainder of 22 games left to play. But what's your general thought process when you hear this kind of news?
I think it's good news, to be fair. Like I want a CEO who knows his football, who has an idea of the identity he wants the club to play as well. If it's not Ten Hag, like I'm not gonna cry over it. You know what I mean? I might be a little disappointed, but at the same time, my only disappointment would be I would like for the system, the structure to be formed around Ten Hag. The club has a stabilized period, and then if he's not that guy, move him along. But
Yeah.
Berrada is the guy, and I trust him. I've seen the success that he's done with the City Group, and it's something that you could put your trust in because you can see
Mm.
tangible results from what he has done in the past.
Hmm. Well, so Sean Andrews saying, big up to you, Mark. Admiral Drex is saying, getting Greenwood in January will be the better breaking bang from Benzema. Yeah, Greenwood is doing madness at the moment. You've seen the latest chip goal as well. So,
Yep.
yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm just going to walk through the story as it is. Like, we're just reacting on the news according to the Telegraph and Docker that came out today that Omar Berrada wants to have the best in class people as what we know. So far, we've been linked to, the Ashworth guy from Newcastle. Ain't going to happen because he's not free at the moment. He's doesn't make sense why he will leave now when he's still there, like, maybe in the end of the season. But also, Paul Mitchell is available right here, right now. We can grab him. He's jobless at the moment. So we've been also linked to Lee Congerton from Atalanta, the guy that we negotiated from for Rasmus Hoyland. He skinned us, by the way. How much did we pay? 72. Lee Congerton, we know that. Atletico Madrid's Andrea Berta, Cristiano Gunotoli from Juventus as well. Ricky Marsla and Paul Maldini, XYZ. So, according to Ducker, these are the potential candidates as well. But I also want to pull into the stage mark that Fabrizio Romano came out today as breaking news just here right now. Today, that no other than exclusive. Liverpool have made contact with Micheal Edwards over the weekend. FSG plan was to offer to be in charge of the restructure of the club. It's understood that Edward has rejected Liverpool. Proposal is not interested in. He wants something more senior today. Mark?
This is good news. I actually like this news. You know what? More than the news of the other guy before, who Dan Ashford. I like
Yeah.
this guy. Because
Why?
he gives me a sense of a world feeling, like
Yeah.
like he's gonna go everywhere. People have chances from everywhere, even if they're from China, they could get scouted to United. And this is what I want from my sporting direction. You know what I mean? I want everybody to have a chance. We should have players representing us from every region of the confederations that attend World Cup. You know what I mean? It employs the fan base because we have the most fans, 500 million worldwide. I think we need a sporting direction that kind of reflects that. The core can remain an English core. That's fine, homegrown core. But bring in some players from around and get the team cultured. Is what I want.
Yeah. So, Micheal Edwards, the VR room. Is this a better upgrade, what we've been linked to? Hell yeah. I would say so, right? Instead of Ashford. Just reminder, Tonali. Ashford. Tonali, Ashford.
Yo,
I mean,
Evo, I
listen,
would.
listen. He did well with Brighton. Can't take it away. But you need the best in class world beater, right? That's done it with big clubs before, right?
Need
Edwards is the guy.
creativity, man.
And
Need a
creativity.
guy with a
Paul
creative
Mitchell is the
mind,
guy, right?
you know. And I like this option here from Ivo Bosic, though it's a shot in the dark, you know what I mean? But this guy would have been the rightest guy. I mean, we
Yeah.
had him in our team, we had him in house, and someone bumped their head, fell down some stairs, and he ended up out the door. I think it was crazy.
Yeah. Ivo, I have a suggestion for you. Everyone will collect $10 each here in this chat. We'll collect a flight ticket for you to go first class to Austria to convince Ragnick to come back with a scalpel for the open heart surgery. Totally agree with you. He would be a perfect CEO, director of football. He was never meant to be a coach. He was never a coach, but he's doing it well with Austria. But Austria is like a part-time job. And there's something that I believe that Jurgen Klopp will do. He probably would take over the German national team as a part-time job, right? Potentially. Or might take over the Three Lions,
You never
England.
know. I think it would be good. You know what England could be with Klopp at the helm. Whew, that would be
Woo!
nice. I mean, okay. The reason why I would say that, not that I'm a huge fan of the England team or anything. I'm Trinidadian guys, so I'm always back against you all at the World Cup. But at the same time, you know what? I think for a country that has the best league in the world, they deserve to have the best manager in the world coaching their
It
club,
does.
their
It doesn't
football
match.
national.
For me, it doesn't add up, right? We have the best league in the world, but
And
when
you
you
have
look at the
Southgate.
national team, it doesn't really marry. It doesn't really compute to
How
me,
how how could
right?
you look,
So
if you look at the quality of the players England has had for the last 5 6 years? How they don't get to a World Cup final, it
maybe the
befuddles me.
national team is under scrutiny under FFP, so they can only afford cheap managers.
Have
Jokes
to be,
aside,
man, because Trinidad. A lot of countries around the world will kill for the depth of choice that England has. You know what I mean? Such a
yeah,
wealth of choice in terms of selection for places that they're players who've never even got a look in. Like Ivan Toney's
yeah,
never been to a tournament for England. Like
yeah.
like Tomori. There's lots of
Tomorrow.
players.
Yeah, I agree with you, Manchester 7. But when you come with this statement as well, you got to look at the overall. How many minutes did he come off the bench? Benjamin Sesko, 4 goals in 15 appearances. Yes, coming off the bench, right? So we are never supposed to have two young strikers, 100%. But depends on what you want to do for the future, right? I think the end of signing those Galactical players is over. I think football has changed. FFP is caught up with majority of the clubs. If you sign a £200 player, that for that money, mate, you can sign three, four, five, six players for that money, right?
True.
True. Only Real Madrid does it nowadays, I think. But it's caught up with Barcelona 100%. They sold off everything. They're in the mud, right? So, yeah. Um, Regarding Liverpool as well, I saw something very interesting in terms of Banta starters. Sorry if you're a Liverpool fan, just take it. Just take it. Because I also read that Virgil van Dijk is now also considering, since Klopp is not there, he's considering not to extend his contract with Liverpool. I don't know if there was jokes, but dude, they're
Well,
crying.
Liverpool could
Papa,
be in the mud, but you never know. You know what I mean? And everyone is saying Ten Hag said eras come to an end. It looked like an era is coming to an
Mm.
end at the end of the
But guess
season.
what? They lost the best hugger in the league, Papa
Yeah,
Bear. You know
he's
what?
a good
He was
competitor as well.
Dude, he
A
was
cool
hugging
man.
everyone, the competitors after the game. He was like, "Come to Papa Jurgen, I'll give you a hug." He was Mr. Hugger, right? So one thing that Jurgen was good at was actually keeping the squad together and show them love, 100% that he cared, right? Other than that, I could not stand his grin. I could not stand the way he was winning. It
I
is what it
mean,
is.
it
I
is.
wish him all the best,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
can't.
what
I
did
couldn't stand him either. He gave the Scousers too much chest.
but
Too much
he
chest.
remind me of Sir Alex, like in the prime, giving everyone the bollocks, being a little bit cocky in the press conference. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, that leaves that they will not have any bite anymore. He will leave his shiny teeth at Anfield, and who will replace him? Nobody knows. Do we care? I don't
no,
care.
no
I don't
cares.
care.
But y'all
Jolly Malmin.
even what he's saying there, I kind of care about that because I have always been thinking about it. You know what? In a week, everything could collapse. The league could refuse to gym, and where are
Yep.
we when administration? Those who wanted the club to be relegated would get their wish.
Yeah,
Could be
that's
that,
reality.
Yarly. Could be. But you know what? I'm thinking that a lot of people will be blindsided by something like this happening in the next few weeks. And I'm thinking, as a football fan, I would say be very careful. And as much
What
as
you wish for,
some might
yeah.
say it might be bad for him, in order to stabilize the club and kill player power, this might be the best solution. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because even if you give him a new contract, doesn't mean you can't sack him in the summer.
No,
It just means
The
You
thing
give him
is,
a barrier, a buffer that says,
the
he's the boss.
Mark, the thing is, like, if I may say so, like, we've been quite consistent here. On this channel, we are Glazers out 100%. Like, we want Glazers. I mean, do I accept this 25%? I'm skeptical. But if they promise what they are saying that we are going to do, get rid of the deadwood, optimizing the wage bill, only recruiting players that will play for the team with their great mentality, that fosters competition, that leads us to win trophies again, then I'm sort of, yeah, I'm okay with that. If it leads to a full sale only at the end of the day. But so far, we haven't been communicated that way, right? Sir Brailswell was there yesterday, apparently, and having a lecture about performance management and stuff like that. But it's been told, it's been reported that until they've been approved and ratified, they cannot say much. But when they will be approved, if they will be approved, they will reveal all the plans. But Jarl is right, because we've been talking about the finances. The club is definitely heading towards administration at the current rate, if you kind of open the books and have a look at it. And that is the worrying sign. And if this collapses, does it leave the door open for other potentially, I don't know, don't want to mention the 92 Holding Foundation, Saudi, PIF, any investors to come in and swoop in? It has to be. Otherwise, we are going down the quicksand, the abyss.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, you know, it's lots of different possible things. And Ramo is coming in here. Funny enough, I was thinking this when I heard the report and what happened with Rashford. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not too inaccurate. He sacked 3 managers before Eric Ten Hag came, and he seems to outlast everyone and everything. Even, some of the players don't get the preference that he gets at the club, in my honest opinion. You know, could and would
Yeah,
Ragnick come back, Edward Reed? This would be one of the $1 million questions, man, because I'm pretty sure every single United fan, including you and myself, even Mick would take him back in a heartbeat. You know what I
I
mean?
would. 100% I would. But the thing is, going back to tape a little bit, because either way, no matter what happens, we'll have Omar Berrada as a CEO. And that's the thing, because he signed the contract, right? The employment contract. Unless they find something that he's been involved with the 150 allegations, which they say they've done all the due diligence, they've done all the reference checks, they checked all the skeletons, and they say they wouldn't sign the contract without even checking. So whatever happens, we have the best in class CEO in place, and there's Omar Barada. So yeah, I'm all cool for that. We don't need a new manager. What Royd and Frost is saying. What do we need then? We need players with better mentality, 100%. And that is what excites me. Like, come to the summer, I believe, Mark, it's going to be a massive summer, not only for United, but for the Premier League in general, right? Managerial swaps, I believe that Pep's going to probably jump ship. Apparently, Arteta came out to say the false rumors that he was going to Barcelona. But if you watch the documentary, the Barcelona documentary, Pep Guardiola says he will go to Barcelona if they just call him, right? The suck Xavi. Do you think that Pep Guardiola will go to Barcelona, or it's going to be a managerial shift? We are on the right rebuild path. I wouldn't call it a rebuild, but it's actually bolstering the squad, thinking his squad, elite mentality. It's never been a perfect time for being Manchester United or any club or Arsenal, to catch up right now. 10 years of dominance of City is stopping right now, right here. And Liverpool also on a rebuild. Mark, what's your thoughts?
I think a lot of clubs in this summer transfer window are going to be looking for managers.
Hmm.
This is one of the reasons why I would say, you know what, let's screw down our manager and keep him for stabilization purposes, because there are lots of hipster managers coming up now, like Michel at Girona. This season he has been
Deserby.
amazing, but people will talk about this season. Maybe they haven't watched Girona last season. Last season they weren't doing that well. He got 7 players in the club that I would say fit his style of play, that greatly enhanced the team this season, including Savio, the young Brazilian I've been talking about, Savinho, as he's, cutely called by most people who know him. And he's been doing really well. There's also the
Yeah.
manager at Benfica, the young guy there in Portugal. And there's a lot of good managers up and around, but it's going to be hard pressed to say that who's going to get success, who's going to hit the ground running. who's going to be the best appointment for each squad. And I mean, there's like 4 or 5 squads looking for managers.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, man, it's going to be a massive summer. And I would just say that, barring that we haven't had a vision before, barring that we haven't had an ethos before, what needs to happen first now is, after Omar Berrada, is to point either Dan Ashworth or whoever might, Edwards or whoever that might be, and formalize a style of play, right? If that is a marriage with the current manager, then you recruit players around that ethos and vision. If they say that, sorry, Ten Hag, you're not the guy, I will not cry over it, because they know better, right? They know better. They already established a vision 5 years from now where they want us to be. So that I can applaud. If it's Ten Hag, then we have to stick by it, right? And if it's him leading to not having a veto in the transfer market, put my hand up to say good, because you as a manager should not be involved in the transfer, potentially just advise. But at the end of the day, if you want that top target, you'll be presented like 3 similar targets, and you pick the one that is best mentality, best profile for each position. That's what it is. Witterbird, Vicky, hey, great show. How you going, Vicky? See you tomorrow, Vix. Big up to you as well. We are back tomorrow with Vicky as well. We are doing the Wolves preview, 100%, with the she-wolf, Vic. I love us
Really
this
saying,
Emery from Villa. Unai,
yeah,
good evening.
he failed at Arsenal, man. Like I can't even begin to think about those things. You know what I mean? The guy failed at a rival. He's doing good at Villa. Maybe he found his level. A lot of people say they want Sancho to come back. I think Sancho has found his level in Germany, guys. Like, I'm being honest. I'm a
No
huge
way.
Sancho fan. I am a huge Sancho fan. I want Sancho to captain Trinidad for the World Cup 2026. That's how big of a fan I am. Right?
All right, guys.
But
Everyone has different opinions, and you, since you're a Trini boy and you're a Sancho fan, I do understand. Some people go like this, Mark. No way, Mark. No way. I mean, depends on. I mean, at the end of the day, hope Sancho does well so we can cash in on him. That's what I'm saying as well. And apparently, Mark, I want everyone that's looking for this to give us a like. You know what? Thumbs up for Mark, for thumbs up for Mick, thumbs up for the VR room, and thumbs up for you as Manchester United fan. But at the end of the day, what you have to do as well for the Glazers is this one. You know what I mean. Guys, sorry. We are a little bit off the wagon here right now. But Mark, hot from the press. Mark, you mentioned something before, and I'm going to bring it up to the stage. On there.
The answer to our prayers, Mick. The answer to our prayers. Lots of people might not agree with me now, but when we get a winger who could wing off the left, they would enjoy it. They will not miss him. I promise you.
But you know what? The only winger that could cross in the ball is on a verge to go to Granada.
Yeah, but you forgot we got that winger who's on loan to Getafe. He could play left or right or through the middle. So
What is this BS story regarding Amad Diallo liking a post and Ten Hag's got pissed off and is going to send him back to Sunderland? Is that just paper talk or?
Well, I would have said it was paper talk, but it is true that he was caught liking a message. Now,
Because
I
it did well at
cannot
Sunderland. Of course it did.
I can't be mad at him. In a way, he's a young man, frustrated, but at the same time, I would say to him, you've seen your seniors make the same mistakes and what has happened to them.
But
How could you do the same thing?
At least you
Calm
didn't go
down.
on the lash, man. At least you didn't go 2 days in Belfast, man. True.
I mean,
Sorry, guys.
this is my opinion, right? I think Ahmad has a lot of talent. I think he has the ceiling, but he has not done anything. Not for Manchester United, not at Manchester United, not this season. So, in my honest opinion, he needs to prove it when he gets game time. I'm still a bit disappointed in him because I would say a lot of people said he had a great 30 minutes in his debut. But in my opinion, he's the one that cost us the counter-attacking goal because any forward would know basic rule, you don't pass a ball back into the ant's nest, into the top of the box where all the players are standing. You never know what can happen.
So, guys, there's 70 of you watching live. Big up for you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. What is the pulse of the VR room, Mr. Producer? What are they saying? Everything, let us know what you think. PSG to return for Rashford. Will you sell him? I definitely would like to cash in. He's one of the top 3 earners in the club. And if Ineos is going to set an example, if they say what they're going to do, that means everyone is not safe. I would like to rebuild a total new squad, keep the ones that are worth keeping for, and recruit in the players with the right mentality and the attitude and the fighting spirit. What's Ramos saying here? Girona manager brings City, belongs to City Group. Omar Berrada might have him on his list. Guess what? This is what Jarvis has been talking about for 5 months. The same Girona manager. He's doing a madness at the moment, right? The top of the league.
One season. You know what I mean?
One season.
And one season wonder currently. Unless he wins a trophy, he's a one season wonder so far because he hasn't done anything. The season hasn't
One
finished.
season doesn't make a swallow. Yeah.
And I'll say this much. If he's on Berrada's list, let's not forget Pep might leave. What if City says to him, we want you to take over City?
Yeah, and who sits in Girona as the president? Pep's brother. But you can put two and two together, like, and it's the same group, the same owners in Girona as City. What if City falls for 150 allegation? What if they get relegated 2 leagues down? That means that they're going to sell it up and just move the whole operation to focus everything on Girona. It's clear and obvious, isn't it? Like, and if you think like that, right? From a bad society.
Yeah, maybe, but like at the same time, it's one of those things where I would link him, but I would also it's the same thing as if you talk about Dan Ashworth and the other guys that we've been linked to before. You know what I mean? Are they on Berrada's list as well? You know what I mean? What if he looks for a guy that's coming from the City Group from one of the smaller clubs in the City Group? You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean?
So yeah. Just gonna shout out Vicky as well. She's currently doing her weights, man. She's lifting weights as we speak.
Vicky. Get the muscles up.
Pump those muscles up. Pump it up. Big up, Vicky. We see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock UK time for a very exciting preview. We're going to do it a little bit differently, and I'm not going to tell you, but you have to tune in tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Anyway, Roydon Frost, what are you saying? Get your questions in here, guys. This is the final Q&A before we close the shop. Let's not forget Schooled Emery 3-2 with the worst Man United squad in history. Yeah, we did. Villa, yes. Yeah, to the Glazers, 100%. I see you. That was regarding this one. YouTube algorithm, please. She means this one to the Glazers. We're not going to say it, but you know what I mean. And this was actually this guy's idea over there.
What can I say? You got to give them what they deserve, right?
What's Simon Davis here? Say, big up, Simon. What you saying?
Believe me, Man United will be back. They've just been dormant, a sleeping giant. You can have that quote. What goes around comes around. And I agree with you, Simon. I'm agreeing with you 100%, bro.
Yeah.
Mick knows I already was going to agree with that statement. That's why he let me read it.
100%. But a world orders empires goes in cycles, and so does football. Empires fall, empires rise. And this is the great reset button, right? This is what I'm referring to. It's going to be a massive summer. Manager's going to be swapped. Players going to leave. Players going to be cropped. And there will be a new empire rising. Who will that be? Will be United? Is it a time for United? I don't know, but I certainly hope so, people. Anyway, I want Greenwood back right now.
Me too.
A lot of people do. A lot of people do. He's doing really well now. He's really doing well. And he's one of our asset players. Will they cash in? The decision will be made in the summer. But he's currently rocking over there.
Yeah, and you know what? You know why I would not agree with this statement from Ramo. Ramo, I agree with you a lot.
Dude, Bestie said Adama Traore, baby oil Adama Traore is the answer. Grease me up with baby Johnson oil.
Grease me up, yeah.
Like baby
not really,
Johnson
man.
oil.
If it's one guy I don't like to see play football is Adama Traore, bro.
No end product.
Yesterday I saw Pepe playing for Ivory Coast, and I'm like, 10 million, I'd take him at United. You know what I mean? Being honest, but at the same time, when I see Mason Greenwood is like that boat typical ringer. He can cross the
Yeah.
ball and he can cut in. And I understand why Eric Ten Hag wanted to keep him in the squad this season when you see the way he's been performing and how he has been performing this season.
Yeah, but
We're missing a winger like that.
dude, baby oil. I call him Johnson baby oil. Traore is full of muscles, but no end product. Like just grease me up like a Traore, right? Slippery as hell, fast, but no end product, right? So we don't want that. We don't want that. Perhaps if we're doing a bodybuilding competition, maybe we could, right? But we are not Manchester United strength building at the moment. So we're now entering a new exciting world because it's like what 22 games left, isn't it?
In the season now we have 16 games left after the game.
Vic is getting ruthless. Come on,
Yeah.
Vix.
I mean,
Literally.
like in all fairness, like you know what? I'm always gonna have and be critical of Marcus Rashford. Everyone needs to realize that he's no longer that kid. He's now the most senior attacker at the club. He's got kids who are 20, 19, 17, 15
Yeah,
looking up at him.
right. But at the end of the day, man, what I'm saying, there's going to be movers and shakers. PSG probably will sell Mbappe to the long-lasting Real Madrid. They've been chasing his skirt for 3 years, and he's probably going to move. And that looks like PSG needs a replacement. Will they go for the likes of Rashford? Yeah, let's hope so. It's going to be a lot of movements in terms of managerial. But I have a sad story. Breaking news right here, right now. Are you ready for this one? God, Manchester United never stops giving.
Sell him in the summer. Sell him right now, bro. Like
I know
in the
Vicky
summer.
loves him. I know Vicky loves him. But the farce that went over in Cameroon as well, it's too much. It is too much. And now, like, I'm quitting. I know. He's so.
Yo,
I'm so tempted.
listen.
Listen, I'm so tempted when I asked you the question, right? Do you reckon Ten Hag has his best 11 right now? And that includes Bayande, right? Yes.
For me, it includes Bayande now. I'm being
Why?
honest. People might say I'm
Why?
recent bias, but
Why?
in that one game,
Can
I
I ask you
saw a
why?
goalkeeper who can stop shots
Yes.
and distribute the ball.
2 and 3.
And he commands his box.
Yep.
So I've seen it all in one game. And I
But
think he
where
would do
is
it in the
Onana? Where is Onana? Onana. I don't know my name. Onana. Yeah, you used to know my name.
well,
What
he was
happened to
busy
Onana? He
giving
used to
me the
carry
flu.
Inter Milan all the way last season, or was it just a one season wonder?
I might lean towards a one season wonder, Mick.
A smash
But
hit wonder.
it's only because for me, the performances this season have not shown me his character at all. Like we hear so much about his big ego, his big personality, his confidence, his this, his that. But all I've seen is someone cower and sit down and whine and cry and show himself to be afraid of even being substituted for one game.
Yeah, I know. Listen, a goalkeeper's position is the loneliest position in the whole team. And there's a famous song. I can't remember if it's NSYNC or who sings that. Show me the meaning of being lonely.
Backstreet Boys.
Tell me why. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to do it. I just had to do it. Listen, De Jong doesn't suit Barca either. I agree with you what RJ is saying. But at the end of the day, um, do I believe that we are having our strongest 11? Yes, I kind of see it. Do I believe that those players that come back from injury are a little bit rusty? Yes, we are. But, we've seen the quality of Licha. We've seen what Casemiro can do. Like, these will take time for them to rev up. But where is Mason Mount fitting in this? I have no idea. I haven't seen much of it. You know what? Why did we sign him? Nobody knows. What position? Nobody knows. But at the end of the day, man, if we get in a secondary striker at the end of the window, if Benzima comes in, potentially scoring 20 goal, I salute that, right? If not,
Mhm.
I'm happy either way. Like, because at the end of the day, what I wanted to see is a total overhaul at the end of the summer, right? So 20 games to go,
Yeah,
kick the ball, and that's about it, right?
yeah, and it's honest because like what Kenneth is saying here, there needs to be lots of changes in the playing staff, and I would say this is most key. All the top managers have a staff of coaches that suit their play style. Only at
Mm.
Manchester United you have a coach that has a staff that's collage from play styles such as Oli and Jose Mourinho because Eric Ten Hag was not allowed to bring in his style coaches for set pieces or defense or attacking or
Yeah, yeah,
anything
yeah.
like
True.
crazy.
I did a video this morning, basically, and now rest of the media is catching up as well because uh, I know Anthony Dos Santos' agent, Junior Pedrosa, and there was links to say that, of course, John Murtough went down to Saudi and offered a lot of players that was on his list because that was his task, like to get rid of the high wage bills, right? And Anthony Dos Santos was one of the lists, but Junior Pedrosa came out to say we haven't heard any communications from the club and rather here in January on the summer, so we just act accordingly, right? But at the end of the day, what I said in the video as well was to say that they can't do jack shit at the moment because Ineos is not there. At the end of the day, it might be a different story depending on what Omar Berrada and the new sporting director and everyone comes in to do. But I don't know. It's a mixed bag. I know he's such a good quality player, like when he was playing in the Eredivisie, but it's a different league, right? I remember his first goal when he came in against Arsenal when he actually curved into. It was a beautiful ripper, and you could also acknowledge the mental state of the player. Was also mentioned because he went through these false allegations, was crying in the front of the cameras, and he proved that he was innocent. He was fighting this, so he's doing everything now to contribute to the team. He's a team player. You can see it. He's got spirit. He tracks back. But what I see is that he needs to develop his game more, Mark. He needs to start utilizing more crosses to the box, take on more players on the byline, and start using his right foot. For right now, he's using only one trick in his book, and that is cut in, and make that curler left foot. Hopefully, will bend into the left post, the corner post, right now. You know what I mean? So
True. But he did score a goal with his right foot this weekend,
yeah,
so
he
in
did,
my
which was
opinion,
surprising me. He do have a right foot.
surprising, And for the most part, even though he wasn't really successful, I started seeing a bit of elements about the Anthony that came into the squad against Liverpool last season in this game. I mean, it was just some minnows, but his attitude sort of changed after he scored the goal, and I think he was missing that himself all season, and
Right.
may have been into himself because of those accusations you were talking about.
Yeah. Guys, that's about it from my end of this story. There's nothing more to add on. We had some very interesting debates, me and Mark, as per usual. M&Ms. Guys, if you have any questions, drop them right here, right now, because we have approximately 3 minutes left of this show today before we pack it up. Will be the only stream for today. 100%. I did a video this morning, and this will be the only one. So please share it, retweet it if you have Twitter. Hit that thumbs up button. You know what to do, how it looks like. Subscribe if you haven't, and most important, join to become a member as well, because it means a lot. Even if you've been gifted memberships, check your account at the end of the month. If you've been gifted a membership, that's free, but you know how much it means for the channel and for us to continue to develop content is actually your membership donation. It's only costs you €1 per month. So if you can afford buying a Snickers, you can definitely afford to support this channel. That's all I have to say. So what is the VR room saying? Edward Reed, now is my question. Ready? Mick, would you agree with my top three? I have given it weeks through. Greenwood, Sancho, Højlund front three. Mouth-watering. Sancho, depends on the style of play. Depends on if the mentality is there, right? Agree to disagree, but I can see your point. You, Mark?
Yeah, I kind of agree. The only thing I kind of would change, maybe, if I think honestly, and it pains me to say this, but I've seen Sancho at United in 83 games, and I've seen him at Dortmund, and I think he's found his level there. And as much as I want him to succeed,
Levels.
Yeah, I think he's better off in the German league, and I would just let's see if Garnacho or maybe Ahmad could take over on that right wing position and make it their own in the
Yeah,
coming season.
it's like Avicii Levels. You know that song Levels. Jeff Steele, 4:30 a.m. Adelaide. Big up to you, mate. How you doing over there, mate? Eric Ten Hag out, but no one talks about the backroom staff. There's a lot of ITKs when it comes to the coaching. Yeah,
Facts.
yeah, for facts. It's all you have. Mitchell van der Gaag there. You have his name McLaren, and you have a lot of backroom staff that are actually active training, coaching. You have set pieces coaches. You have defensive coaches, goalkeeping coaches. You have physios. You have I don't know. There's so many. It's a full entourage of 30 people there. Um, just show some patience, Vicky. What you're saying, I agree with you, love. Now Martin is back. That's it. We talk a lot. I talk a lot about the Manchester United Bermuda Triangle, and that is my love triangle. That is Martinez, Varane, and Casemiro. Now we're adding on Kobe Mainu. Brilliant Kobe Mainu. So happy that he got his goal. We can only build from here. Arguably to say that we are getting our strongest team back together for the first time of the season. And what can we expect from this? Play good football. Just play
100%.
it like you mean it. That's it. Wolves, we will have a preview tomorrow. What's Roydenfrost saying here before we close the shop?
Saf didn't do well for many seasons, and looked how he was backed and how he did. We need to do the same for Eric Ten Hag. If we don't set a precedent that coaches get one season to win a trophy or they are sacked, then maybe they succeed. And I kind of agree with this. I think
Hmm.
in some cases it might work depending on the squad that you have. If we had a squad that we know was doing it the business, but they wasn't getting over the line over and over, then I could say, yeah, let's sack this manager. But this manager came in with a squad that finished sixth, took them to third, playing in 2 cup finals. And I mean, yeah, he's having a bad season this season, but it's not one of those things where it's by
Yeah,
pure design. It had lots of facets that affected it. There's injuries, there's players being toxic, there's fans being toxic, there's the transfer window, there's the takeover to be talked about, you know what
a
I
lot
mean?
of
So
things
there's
been
lots
happening.
of
Yeah.
different things.
Well, we can.
I don't think there's a
100%.
manager who could have done a better job.
No, I mean, tell me one manager has to deal with all that what Ten Hag's been doing this season alone, and you can put yourself in that managerial position. Like, would you quit? I would definitely go. It's like, screw this, I'm out of here, right? That's the thing. And I also believe that where Brailsford and Ineos came in, they are professional, serious business owners, like they're investors. They come in and to see what the hell happened here, right? Who took a dump in the locker room, and that's what I believe as well. So Omar wants to sack Eric Ten Hag, otherwise the play is straight into the play power. The thing is, you raise a valid point there. We've been sacking managers for the past 6 years or so, 8 years, 4 different managers. What kind of message are you sending to the fans again? Like, coming in to say, "Oh, we're sacking another manager, we're building up again." A lot of questions you need to ask. I'm not in, I'm not out, I'm in a doubt. I see what he could do in the first season. I can recognize that, you know, everything from a 360 perspective. Has he played his best style of football? No. Has been told not to play his style? Perhaps. Has it been player power? Yes, it has been. Has been shackled from above? 100%, I believe. Out of all these signings, maybe 50% was his, 40% was his, the rest was club signings. And man, at the end of the day, I just want to see good football. That's us. I want us to win. So I don't care who won what. Just play good football and win trophies, guys. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Jeff Steele, the difference between Sir Alex and Ten Hag was Sir Alex was backed by David Gill. Yeah, it's a big one. Knowledge of football. Since then, every manager has dealt with idiots. True. If you saw that clip with Omar Berrada and Citigroup and when they were sitting and discussing targets, go watch that video. There's him sitting there with the director of football. Everyone's talking about, no, we're not overpaying. No, this, that, this, that, this, that. Imagine then he's sitting there, like, Ten Hag sitting there discussing with John Murtaugh and Joel Glazer about who to sign. It's got to be clown show anyway. Mick, what happens to Ten Hag to get top 4? Will you keep him for one more year? Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not? I would. I mean, the reason why I'm saying I'm Ten Hag doubt is because I want him to do well. I never want any manager to be failing. I wanted Ole to do well as well, but I believe that the club screwed him over when they asked him, "Do you want?" I saw a clip with I think it was Simon Mitten was speaking to our good friend Paul Brown. It was a 2-minute clip from his podcast where they said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that was his downfall, was Ronaldo. They asked him, "Do you want Ronaldo?" He said, "Yeah, okay." And Ronaldo was just too big for the club, basically. Like, was it high standard or was it just ego? Hard
Standards.
to say. Standards.
I believe it
Maybe.
was
I don't know.
standards more than ego. I
He
mean,
didn't.
look
He
at
didn't
it
marry
this
up.
way. Look at it this way, Mick. I'm gonna say it, maybe his standards, the height of his standards was toxic, because if you look at it, some players couldn't handle the pressure that he was putting on them to perform well every game, you know,
Yeah.
and that made him toxic to the team. So in a way, it was a double-edged sword. You have to bring a winner
Yeah.
in when you have players who have a winning mentality as well. You
Oh
can't
crap!
bring
We
them
over,
into a team with weak
dude.
mentality players.
Guys, apologies. We have overdrawn. We have gone to 6 minute extra times. But when you have a good time, extra time is
Long time.
always good. Football was meant to play it in 90 minutes, but nowadays we don't know. With extra time, if we get 98 minutes or 95 or 92, now we're gone 6 minutes over time. With the final question from Ramo, which team will drop off so we can reach top 4? That's kind of unrealistic.
Spurs
Which
and
team?
Villa, take your pick.
Spurs, will they crumble? Villa?
Probably. We've beaten Villa this season. Although we came back from behind, it's still a lot to say. And
Okay.
in my honest opinion, I feel like Spurs have a few games to lose in the run. Like the game that they have coming up this weekend, which is tomorrow, I believe. I don't
Mhm.
think that they might get past Brentford. I think Brentford has their talisman back, and you see the change, the immediate rise in the performance of the rest of players with the talisman of Ivan Toney back in the squad, and Marcus Rashford should be that type of player for us because he's the talisman.
No, do you think it will get picked for Wolves game? I don't think so. It will be like sending a wrong message. But at the end of the day, play it like you mean it is what we want. Guys, 22, 23 games left. Just pedal to the metal, right now, right here. Top 4 might be, it's not mathematically gone. Anything can happen. Football is round, right? I'm not going to get giddy like you, Mark. You're very positive. You think that we can get top 4, but, game by game, man. That's what I want to see. Right here, right now, starting on Thursday. Go get them. Go get some Wolves, and then we speak after that as well, guys. Big up everyone. Admiral Drex. I'm football. Nothing in football. Nothing is absolute. Anything is possible in football. So Rama, it's not unrealistic. Yep, that's what opinions are for. We have a balanced approach here. We have people that believe. We have people that don't believe. Then you have a balanced person like me that will. I'm a Libra, by the way. If you didn't know, I'm a Libra. I always weigh up. I'm a Libra by star sign, anyway. So. Anyway, we rambled enough. We're going to extra time. Big up for you, Mark. Let you finish off the show. And since I started, it's your turn. M&M.
You know what, guys? It's one of those things where, we're just talking about the news that we've seen, bringing it to you all so we could ask you questions, so we all can talk about it, think about it, and see what solutions and ideas we all have. Sure that we're not all going to have the same ideas, but don't mean that anyone's ideas is better than anyone's. It's all an idea at the end of the day, and we all are here for it. It's just a discussion, the debate. It's been your boy, Mick and Mark. We've been here, slaving as usual, MUFC Realist TV, trying to beat the press as usual. Hope
Yep.
you guys enjoyed the show.
Yep.
Don't forget to keep liking, keep chatting, keep sharing. Share it on TikTok, share it on Twitter, share it with your friends on Facebook. You know what? Don't forget to smash the subscribe button if you're new. And guys, come back in the non-live section and leave your comments and criticisms as we go on. The last show of the day. Hope you guys have a great evening. Mick, take it away.
I couldn't say it even better. I was just hijacked that. I have an AI robot speaking next to me. But you know what to do. Smash the like button, subscribe, and we should see you to the next video. Peace, love, and go bananas. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.